take that one? All right. Good afternoon, the full committee of Governmental Affairs, first committee of the year. And before we get started, I know I'm going to butcher it, but I remember a linebacker, I think, for Texas A&M that spelled it N-G-Y-U-N, and it was pronounced Win, and he was a heck of a player. So am I pronouncing that correct?
Yes, you are.
Please welcome to Governmental Affairs. She has no idea the party she's in for.
I think she got a taste.
Yeah, you just got a taste. B. Win, B, quickly tell us a little bit about yourself. And you get extra credit if you can do it briefer than anybody you saw today.
I'm B. Wynn. I represent District 89, which is City of Atlanta in DeKalb County, and I appreciate you knowing about that linebacker because I think it's probably the only Vietnamese football player we've ever had in the NFL. So,
Well,
thank you.
I study my Vietnamese NFL history. Don't ask me any follow-up questions to that subcategory. All right. Representative Stovall's got a bill in front of us. Come on up. This was a bill that we had, and since she's been waiting, because I told her the last sub would only take about 10 minutes, so she's been waiting patiently for some time. She had a bill that this committee passed out. I'm going from memory. I don't recall any objections, but we know how it gets at the end of session, and it kind of got hung up in rules, which means that it came back to us. So if you'd be kind enough to tell us your bill number so everybody can get up to speed, and welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I'm here to discuss HB 493. And like the chairman said on last session, it passed out of subcommittee and full committee favorably. And it just didn't make it past the finish line on the route make it to the House floor. But in essence, this particular bill is about transparency and fairness in government. Our democracy is designed for the people to have a voice in the type of government they want. This is brought to reality here at the People's House, like Speaker Ralston always says. During our committee meetings, the citizens are able to hear from the members, presenters, but most importantly, from those from the public who want to comment, whether in support or against. But this open and fairness in government isn't practiced across this state. Just imagine if you are at home viewing online a meeting and you hear that public comment is noted on the agenda, but you didn't see or hear it because the local governmental agencies have, according to present law, are allowed to omit it, and many are taking full advantage of this loophole. If it's on the agenda, then it should be included. My office surveyed about 13 governmental agencies across the state, and I would like to share the findings of those. Atlanta Public School, no recording. They don't do any recording. They just write down who signed in and the topic. This is doing public comment. Gwinnett County Schools, they give a brief synopsis in the minutes that's written, but it's not recorded. Lumpkin County School, you do not speak at the meeting. You have to speak before the meeting gets started, and there's nothing recorded, written, or videoed. Macon County Government, they decide if it's something they need to write down and there's no recording. Macon County Public School, when we talked with them, they weren't sure. They just think something is written. Fulton County School, they post the video but cut out public comment. Only thing is written is the person's name and the topic. And in Clayton County Schools and Clayton County Government, they post the video but cut out the public comment time.
And there's other places
Yes,
things happen.
yes.
Great. Any questions for the author of the bill? Representative Fleming.
Thank you, ma'am. We just had a big discussion about local governments, and I get to sit through meetings after meetings after meetings after meetings. And I can't remember if this came up or not. I know one meeting was somebody dropped the F-bomb, and they edited the tape to take that off. You know, somebody shouldn't have said something from a spot. Switching gears on you also, I know that when I'm too old to stay up to see Saturday Night Live anymore, so I go to YouTube, and you can watch different parts that you're interested in. And I know it would seem to be as the video becomes more accessible and sophisticated, you might be able to pick which parts of the issue you wanted to watch the video on from from a meeting. In other words, the city officers, you want to talk about the rezoning matter, you press here. You want to hear about the dog bite bill, you press here. So I wonder if there's, what do you think about how your bill would affect those two possibilities? Ability to edit it when you thought it was needed, for somebody said something they shouldn't, something very vulgar, for example, or the ability to only offer segments that you go to if you want to see a certain part? Just trying to think through this from my own experience.
Right, and I think that, if I remember correctly, it did come up last year.
Thought we did.
Talked
Yeah, I
about
thought
it,
we
yes.
did mention it.
And I think there was plenty of discussion on it about how do you deal with that. And I don't think we came to a full conclusion on it. It was the still allowing the public. I do understand the comment about sometimes people say some things that they shouldn't say. Even if it's live, you won't be able to edit it out
won't
either.
live, yeah.
Right. And so I don't have a particular comment as far as whether yes or no on that, but I know we did discuss it last year.
Representative Taylor.
And I think we discussed this last year as well. The retention policy, you comfortable with the 2 years? I think
Yes.
holding that, holding them required for a minimum of 2 years, that's at their discretion beyond that, but I agree with that completely. Good bill. Mr. Chairman, if
It is appropriate time.
appropriate time, move due pass, sir.
Got to do pass to, I hear second. Any discussion? Chairwoman Taylor.
I had another question. When it said any video, what if it's just somebody taking a little video with their phone? Are they gonna be required to submit that somewhere and let it be published?
When it says in the video, from my the understanding when we drafted the bill, it was whatever the local government, whenever they're recording, not from anybody that's in the audience or anything. So just like we're here now and the recording is taking place, it's what, and say like we had the public comment before I got up here, then all of that part is considered to be in the video.
Okay, it has to be a publicly.
Yeah, it
recorded.
says of a county authority, municipal authority, so I think it eliminates the private sector just in the wording of it. All right, we've got a motion on the table. Further discussion? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go in reverse order, I think. Beth, Representative Beskins, you were so kind to honor that 5-minute mark last time that we're going to go with Representative Peachtree. No, come on, go. This is just a quick presentation with nothing else because most of these people have heard it before. What's the bill number we're looking at?
I think it is LC 288647S. Is that the bill? Substitute 679, was that it, Mr. Lanier? 8647?
substitute here?
Yes, yes.
47S? Yes. All right. Representative Beskins, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're here today with this substitute to House Bill 679, which would place restrictions on the ability of electors who reside in an area annexed into a municipality less than 5 Mondays before the election to be able to vote in that municipal election.
All right. Any questions? Y'all may need to refresh this. This was left over from 10 minutes ago. All right. This time the chair will accept a motion. Oh, wow. Move to pass. I have a second. Yeah, any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Congratulations. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. All right. Sharon Springs. You had Sharon Springs? You ready? What bill we looking at there? What number?
House Bill 626.
Yeah, we'll have a new substitute because of what was small amendment and or substitute and the sub. I'm going to, I should have done this before. Chairman Brockway I know what we're taking up now, but for the members that may have just gotten here, all of these bills that we're looking at now, with the exception of Representative Stovall, were passed in sub, correct? Correct. Representative Jones.
Yes, Chairman Reinders. Okay. Members of the committee, I appreciate your time. I know that many of you heard my opening comments approximately an hour and a half ago, so I will do the abbreviated version. For those of you who are not here, you have in front of you a 2-page infographic, and then you also have the executive summary of the Sharon Springs Study Committee. You will see there's a cover letter on top of that study committee, and it basically lays out the 3 reasons that drive for me why I support HB 626. The first one is Forsyth County is about 225,000 people, and the county seat of Cumming is the only city with about 6,000. The idea of a second city has been hovering over the county per se for at least a decade, if not a decade and a half. And in my mind, this was an opportunity to be able to determine, should we go forward with it or should we not? The second thing that this drop in the bill in March did for me, it allowed me to put together a study committee. This study committee was not put together of appointees of Todd's friends. I want to assure you of that, but rather of the 7 county delegates and then also the 5 board of commissioners. This allowed us to have 12 individuals from across the entire county, 9 from outside the city limits, 3 from inside the proposed city limits, giving us a good spread of what exactly, in terms of a population spread against that particular committee, that study. The committee, you will see inside of the executive summary on pages 4, 5, and 6, did several public meetings. These meetings including meetings with SPLOS experts, loss experts, municipal experts, city managers, county managers, you name it, with an ability to be able to gather more and more information on what were the pros and cons. Ultimately, that study committee came back with a recommendation of we should try to move this through the legislative process to be able to provide the right of self-determination to the individuals within the city lines of Sharon Springs. So we are here today to basically present, or I'm here today to present HB 626 and answer any of the committee's questions.
For the committee purposes, I'm going to ask you some of the questions that we've recently added in terms of our rules. Is there anything that prohibits Sharon Springs from being able to add as many services as it would like?
No, Chairman.
So, okay, very good. What kind of plan do you have to make sure that the people voting on this self-determination, what are your plans to make sure that the information they get is descriptive, and so they actually know? So if you're going to offer, here we go again, the library, that it's not a bookmobile, that it's this, but they actually know.
Yes, sir. So it initially starts with planning, zoning, code enforcement, and solid waste. You'll see that on the upper
How are you
left-hand
letting
corner.
them know what that means?
And then, if you move to the second page, there is a full communication and public awareness plan that I wanted to make sure the committee was fully aware. This goes anything from emails, social media, town halls. If you go onto SharonSpringsCommittee.com, out of my own pocket, I've paid for that. We've had thousands of hits on that. It also has the study committee's report along with the feasibility report on it, and the county went and did a counter report, and that is also on there in the spirit of full disclosure, Chairman.
All right. In the interest for members of the committee, remember our position is never to let anyone in any of these places think that because the legislature passed that we're saying it's a good city.
Correct.
Or a bad city. We're saying you've met the technical requirements so that people can have the right to be able to vote. Any questions for the presenter of the bill? The appropriate time's now. Motion do pass. I hear a second. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chairman Reinders.
Thank you. All right, Skidaway, Representative Peachtree. I love saying that. I love saying that.
Yeah,
up
my
here.
new name, apparently.
I just love saying that up here.
Good to see you, Todd.
Welcome to our corner.
Thank you, Representative Jonas. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you once again, substitute House Bill 618, and a bill that would incorporate the city of Skidaway Island, 8,400 people, grassroots effort. You have copious information on your desk to point to the degree to which the people on this island have taken this seriously. And I think we answered most of our questions earlier. This is a full cityhood bill and a reduction of millage rate, which is just makes it all that much better. A lot of positivity toward this measure in our community, and no objection from any of our other local governments has been made prominent in any way, shape, or form.
All right, I'm going
Thank
to
you,
ask
sir.
the questions that I love to ask.
Yes, sir.
Keep the accusations at a minimum. Is there anything that limits in your charter that limits you to just 3 services?
Nothing. No, sir.
So that you can add them as you grow, as you see, as the people decide, as the council decides?
Absolutely.
Great. And is there, what is your method for being able to let the folks know what they can expect of these services?
Yes, sir. Good question, Chairman, and we've been doing that for well over a year at skidawaycitystudy.org. We have a very substantive website with a great deal of data, including all of that information that is before you on your desk.
And again, from members, both sides get where they want to sit there and say, oh, you're not going to do this, or it's going to cost you millions of dollars, so we're trying to make it as transparent as possible to let the people know exactly what services they're receiving and how they're going to be delivered.
Yes, sir.
Any questions of the author of the bill? At this time, I'll entertain a motion. Okay, got a question, Representative Turner.
Can you tell me about this library?
Yes.
It's a mobile.
It's going to be, hey, it's going to be a beautiful library.
She's raising her hey, she's behind you.
I'll take the language of our president. It's going to be a beautiful library.
Miss Sylvia behind you, she's raising her hand, going at it. All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to pass, sir.
Got a motion to pass. Do I hear a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, like sign. Thank you. And before we adjourn, thank you. Congratulations. You've just been passed out. The chair is appointing a new subcommittee. It's a special subcommittee on voting technology. We understand there's some things being discussed. The good news is that the votes in Georgia are secure. They're not in jeopardy, but we also realize that, like anything else, we're looking at a time frame of what's reasonable and to do the right thing with the proper input from the locals on up. So with that in mind, I'm appointing today the following members. Representative Fleming, I'm so glad that you're going to chair this, because this will probably just meet once for about 5 minutes. Representative Buzz Brockway, Representative Lumsden, Representative Mosby, Representative Oliver, Chairman Powell, both Powells, the Powell brothers, Alan and Jay. I think Alan was born first, someone told me. But, and of course myself. So this will be getting some of the legislation. We're not limited to time or how long we will meet on this, so it is certainly going to be ongoing. Any questions on that? Great, we're adjourned.